Edmonton Research Park Business Consortium, or ERPBC, is a collaboration of advanced technology and life science companies located in the Edmonton Research Park. The consortium represents more than 55 companies ranging from nanotech, renewable energy, artificial intelligence, healthcare, life science, manufacturing, and construction. Here to talk to me today is Ahmad Jawad and John Murphy. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today and having a chat to inform me and our watchers about, our viewers all about what the Edmonton Research Park is. So I'm going to start with John. John, give me a little bit about history about yourself and your involvement with the Research Park.
Sure, thanks. So I'm an Edmontonian all my life, and I started a company back in the early 80s, and one of the first places we moved into, just as the building itself, the Advanced Technology Center, was being made, was we moved in, and they were laying carpets, and we were moving our stuff in, and it was a really exciting time. And what we were able to do is, through the next several years, build an organization. We had about 100 staff, and we were able to create value. We ultimately exited and brought a lot of that wealth back to Alberta, and now we're doing it again. And so right from the very beginning of the value and that asset and the vision of that park, we could see it, we started to embrace it, and it started to work. Yeah. And I think we have an opportunity to build on that. But that's the history.
Awesome. Right on. And how about yourself?
Good. I started in 1999 in the building, and the story is I've been driving beside 23rd Avenue and Parson Road. I see this glass building. The thought is maybe it's a greenhouse of some sort. It's always a unique building. So when I started my company, I walked into there and then realized it's run by the Edmonton Economic Developments, and I applied. They gave me a space. I was by myself. We focused at the time on finding a digitized solution for schools. So we started as a software company and also supporting school in terms of their technology. Now, almost 20 years later, really we're about 20 people in the company. Our clients are school districts across Canada, focusing on Alberta, and we work with analyzing data in school to support student learning. So all the data that a teacher might have, all the way to the directors, superintendent, is something that we provide the schools to do that. Specifically now with COVID becoming more and more important. Also another software that we have, it's called School Engage, that we create digitized documents. And all the documents that parents might need to sign or even staff need to sign. So you could imagine right now, even with the COVID era, that becoming more and more important. I usually don't like to talk about the success of the company saying, what we've done, but really, as a company in Edmonton Research Park, one of the success we have first is our employees, the people that we have talents in the city, but also the companies like John's and Mihadi and others who are there. I could walk around, ask questions, I could learn from them. And that's key, being part of this ecosystem. But talking about that success, we just won last year the second largest school districts in Canada, Calgary Board of Education, against two companies, I'm not going to say who they are, in the stock exchange in the States. So a company in Edmonton, in the basement of the research park, is able to succeed like this, but there's other success stories from John's to other companies within the research park. When you go walk into the Advanced Technology Center, the building I'm in, you see basically the graduate plaques for all the companies. I think there's over 50 or 60 of them and so on. Apple was there for sure and other companies, but we're talking about a company who started as one person, like myself or John, and now we grew. But really, the challenge for us is not the market, is where can we be to stay and attract talent within the city and within Alberta. Because right now, the challenge we have is this person could work in Edmonton, but go anywhere in the world. We want them to work for a company in Edmonton and in Alberta. The research park allow us to be a campus of innovation where we're able to connect and collaborate with each other, not only with this only one place, but also with universities, downtown and other places. So.
Well, success is a really important word. And I mean, it's the key that we all want when we start a company. We want success. And support is a big driver to get us to success. And so you're talking about the Edmonton Research Park being such a great supportive community and ecosystem. I mean, really, at the end of the day, it's a hidden gem. It's a hidden gem of our province that has over 57 companies in it. So what's the importance? Let's just really hit a little bit more on the importance of having the research park, not only where it is, but being part of Alberta. So not just where it is in the city, but being part of Alberta. Do you want to talk a little bit to that?
Sure. So I started another company, StreamML. It's an artificial intelligence machine learning company. And we moved into the Advanced Technology Center, in part because, like you mentioned, that support was there. And the brand recognition was there from the perspective of we were in the Advanced Technology Center in a research park. And I'm taking our artificial intelligence company and we're talking to people around the world. And I'm trying to build credibility. We started, we've only got a couple people, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the first things we were able to do is say, yeah, we're part of this advanced technology thing. It's an entire district. It's part of a city that's behind it. Wow, we look credible, and we were just setting up our phone system, right? I mean, that's the kind of perspective that if we could build, and that I was able to kind of take advantage of, right? And so that kind of perspective from the outside world, I think, is really important.
The walking into the research park is kind of like Alberta's own little mini version of Silicon Valley, isn't it? I mean, it's a bunch of technology companies that are collaborating together, bouncing ideas off one another, going through each other's experiences on whether it's capital funding, whether it's new markets to maybe enter into, educating each other on different things, again, from their travels. It's like this mini version of Silicon Valley that could be a massive influencer if it keeps being nurtured in the direction it's going. And technology right now has been making headline news across not just the province, but the country, international news when it comes to economic rebound. Coming out of COVID, technology has been the driver for that, those headlines here in Alberta and Canada. And the Edmonton Research Park, I think, has been really a big part of that in influencing. I mean, you guys have some massive revenue numbers that I think are on the conservative side, which is really great. 57 companies.
Yep.
57 companies.
1,500 people.
1,500 people.
So, thanks for mentioning the Silicon Valley, because we might not be Silicon Valley now. We need to dream,
yes,
but we need to have a plan.
Yeah.
And have a plan is not only my company or John's company or even ERPBC. We're a big community in Alberta, but also as a city. What the future of this park is going to be, right? The future of attracting maybe funding or capital, but more important, attracting people and ideas, because the people and ideas are going to create those companies. This is what you're going to attract the funding and attract the capitals and so on. So I think part of our, you didn't ask me the question about ERPBC, how we were created, but really we were an organic organization, meaning we connected together before, and we realized we need to have a name, because when the city decided to sell 2 buildings in the park, and when they want to sell 2 buildings in the park, our reaction was not about, oh, you're selling 2 buildings. Our reaction, what's the future of the park? What you're planning to do after that? So what we decided is to come together officially as a group and also have some activities and then talk within each other, within ourselves, and we agreed that we want to make a proposal to the city to basically purchase the building. This is we are one of the organization that put together a proposal. But the key is not about us buying the building; it's about us being part of this vision of innovation and future for Edmonton. We in the political arena, everybody talk about diversification of economy. Well, this is part of the diversification. We are, John is working on artificial intelligence and ML, I'm working on data analytics and making things easier with school to achieve their processes. But the key is without that, without having an ecosystem and proper support, and I don't talk about money here, proper support in terms of framework of where you could work, bring in people, and that's key. And this is what we're trying to let the city know, to let them think, pause their sale, think about what they're trying to do, maybe communicate the vision. And if they basically they want assistance from us or the business community, we're ready also to assist in that in terms of even the strategies of moving forward with the park. And this is kind of our goal at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Now, can I run my business in downtown or in LA or in Calgary? Yes, I can, but I'm part of Edmonton. I'm from Edmonton. I want to hire people. My son is graduating from university. I want to make sure he works here. Same thing with all those students and all those talents that we have already. And that's a challenge we have against the world, not against Calgary or against Toronto. Anybody could work anywhere right now. And we need to market Edmonton to be that place to attract those talent, but more importantly, have companies like ours continue, but attract new companies,
Right.
startup and others.
You guys have a really solid foundation where you guys are, and it's like a family, right? And you want to keep bringing those members into that family. Let's talk a little bit more about some of the positive things that you guys are doing. So as the consortium, you guys have some programs, you guys got some mentorship things, you guys are doing a lot of interaction with post-secondary education as well. These are all real key factors to be able to have universities and whatnot come into your guys' area and be able to easily tour all these unique individual companies, all these unique ecosystems that have all come together. Let's talk a little bit about how important that is and some of the work you guys are doing in the program sector of with the consortium.
Sure. I mean, you mentioned ecosystem, and that's exactly right, because this isn't about some buildings and some community that's just happening there. That's a key part of it, because it's got to be real. But it really is about kind of the ecosystem and how it really plays in. And I know that that's maybe an overused word, right? But 2 years ago, when I started another company, Bio-Stream, COVID had happened, and we had started to build a medical device to be able to detect COVID. And I'd never been in the medical sector before, and so one of the things I look out is at the ecosystem, and how can that kind of support a company, similar to mine, but others as well, right? And so we looked at where is there space, right? And I was familiar with the park. This is what we're talking about here, right? And so we were able to kind of see where there is these kinds of assets, and are they available to companies to get going? And yeah, because they're supported by Innotech was there to be able to kind of talk about, hey, what kind of space? Do we need more clean tech space? Well, how else can we help here, right?
Yeah.
The other aspects of the university. With this technology we pulled out of the university, and they're very supportive. And so we had talent at the university. And then we started talking to, there's groups now that are actually raising capital and starting seed funds. And so we're engaging with some of the seed funds, and when they can kind of see this is all coming together, not just as one company somewhere, but really as more of a collective, right? Then it just got to be a lot more of a, wow, we're not really doing this by ourselves. The old, it takes a village to raise a company. This is what we started to actually, really experience.
Right.
More so, right? So anyway, it was pretty exciting, and it was pretty real. And so, and so it goes kind of bigger picture like that. But then it also kind of drills down into when you do need help as a company, and there's different founders who have got different levels of experience, and we're helping each other. Then that really starts to, kind of just, the rubber hits the road on real practical ways to help companies. So it's all that together.
Well, it helps to for a fresh company to come in and walk into a ball that's already rolling, right? And then they're moving faster, they're getting successful faster, they're growing quicker. The collaborations can happen a lot smoother because it's a walk across the hallway. It's like being on a campus. If you can walk over to your professor's room and have a chat with him, to get some ideas or to get more clarification on a paper. That's kind of how I see the research park. I mean, like I said, it's a very unique gem, and it's a beautiful area, and it needs to stay vibrant and see more activity. I encourage anybody that hasn't had an opportunity to just take a quick drive through that little ring road in there and just kind of see what's all in there. It's a beautiful, like I said, hidden gem on the south side of Edmonton. Logistically wise, you guys are set up really well when it comes to being integrated with transportation, manufacturing. You can bring things in, ship things out very easily. It's a fantastic area.
Yeah, quick access to the airport.
Yes, bang on. Yeah.
And you know, when we look at scaling, because that's the next thing is it's not just about startups. It's about building companies that can scale, export, and be global, right? And so, you know, it's a great facility to be able to do that, because we can even talk about building other buildings, building manufacturing facilities, leveraging other manufacturing facilities that are already there, and some of them are in the park, right? And then when you can start to think at that level, you start to attract capital and you start to attract interest from around the world. And just to be clear, we're setting this up to be able to build organizations that can compete globally and build wealth here in Alberta.
I like that. I like that a lot. You're really working, like I said, as a group to collaboratively push the whole system forward. And I mean, we already are like in artificial intelligence. I mean, I've said it in like the last like 4 episodes because it's such a big thing. Artificial intelligence is so huge here in Alberta. You know, 3rd highest ranked university in the world. But we can be known for so much more, and it could be stemming from that community. That's really cool. Yeah. Now let's talk a little bit about the vision. Where do you guys see? I mean, as a consortium, as you start bringing all these companies back into the fold and they start talking, where's the vision? Where do you want to see this thing go?
You're looking at me, so
I'm putting you on the spot.
Well, you know, you mentioned Silicon Valley. Not to use that example, we need to dream, right? Dream, but with a plan, like I said. And when we have the core for the vision, which is people and companies already exist, we want them to be able to be in a place, an ecosystem where they are supported with each other through collaboration, but also the awareness of the outside world about us. And this is where growth also will happen. When you want to have investment, when you want to have growth in terms of new ideas in the park and so on. So the vision is continue with the growth, not only as a physical place, but what kind of companies that we could attract. Certain program, you talked about AI, life sciences and other. Sometimes those intersect too. Awareness between them is very important. You know, and that's key for us. Now, looking at, 10 years down the road, I like the park to have more buildings for sure, but more company that's staying. With COVID, it was challenging because people were working from home, which is fine. But the key is, this is a place where it could grow. We have lots of land. The city have lots of land, meaning we have lots of land. And this is something where it could fit into what John is saying. Well, you know, is there buildings we need to add? Even housing, that certain things for professionals and all of that, that could be there. But awareness of the outside world. We always talk about, Edmonton, Calgary, Toronto. Well, it's our responsibility to promote Edmonton. It's a city's responsibility, it's a province's responsibility, but more importantly, as a business, it is our responsibility to make things aware for that. Now, we're part of that ecosystem. We'll make it successful, but at the same time, the city have to have a vision of what they want to take that park. In the same time, we could help them with that. We could help them formulating that and so on. Now, in terms of saying in 10 years, what I like to also be, you talked about what kind of programs, I like to be mentoring other companies, assisting companies to start up and move successful by walking to my office and talking to me, or, you know, John have lots of experience. And this is how you don't need to take a course. You need to be able to know and learn from people who've done it before, made mistakes, right?
Exactly.
So, and that's key where we want to be. Now, we already exist. That's the thing. The investment is not very high. We're there already. The buildings are there. The locations are there and so on. What we need to do is use more of this.
Yeah, you betcha. So it sounds like your biggest challenge right now is awareness. Let's get the word out that you guys exist and you're doing some phenomenal things. And we hope to help you with that here on the show today. So
yeah, no, exactly. And when you say get the word out, I mean, really, we're representing industry.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that word is industry, technology. We're in Alberta. We're here to support oil. We're here to support other, agriculture, health. It's a gamut, right?
You guys got a massive list here. I mean, AI, healthcare, life sciences, you go into manufacturing, construction, nanotechnology. I mean, you're touching everything that is the future right now.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, and really, I think if we could just kind of pull that together
Yeah.
and support it
Yeah.
with folks that are already doing a lot of this work, right? So we might just be the industry piece, but there's other people that are doing the export side of it, and it's more of this vision. And I think that that's the whole point: is what is our collective vision, so that in 10 years we have been growing and we've really got something that's world class.
Yeah.
Because this is being viewed by the outside of Canada, investment and money coming in internationally. They want to, if they can see this kind of group and this kind of organization and support from the entire community,
Yeah.
right? And it's not just the research park; it's the downtown, it's the airport, it's everything coming together. And even that, when the outside world looks at that, they think, "Wow, that's a pretty small area." Right, compared to like Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
So we've got to work together. We've got to collaborate to kind of be able to even, and as a province, this is a research park. It's about Edmonton, but it's about Alberta, and we just want to kind of like pull that together and support it.
I'll make a quick comment before I go into my next question. You say small, but it's small when you look at it to Silicon Valley. We're a province of 4 million people, right?
Yeah.
Now Silicon Valley dwarfs us by like tenfold when it comes to those kinds of numbers. So to Alberta and Canada, it's a lot bigger than it gets credit for. So I think that that's something to keep in mind. My last thing before we close out, the one thing that I really want to touch on, it's a major conversation point, which is talent and retention and having jobs. And that's something that I think that you guys also are not giving enough credit for as the research park, that there is a boatload of jobs in there. You said 1,500 employees, right? 1,500 employees. You're doing the mentorships with universities to try and keep those students, when they come out of those programs, they have a place to go. And the only way they're going to have that is if they've got the ecosystem to go to do what they want to do and do what they love. And again, ultimately start something new and fresh that's going to explode into the world and change the world, right? So that's something I think that is a very underappreciated fact or under recognized fact that is happening out of the research park as well.
Yeah, and that I'll just comment on that because I was part of a program at NATE, and they were bringing nanotechnology folks, students, right? That would go through a program and then bring them through. And the Advanced Technology Center and the Research Park was a national or an obvious landing spot for them. But also, some of the other support from the government, Western diversification. We were part of a health ecosystem, and it was around artificial intelligence. But it was very much talking about other universities and colleges where these students in Alberta have got an amazing talent. But you're right; they need to have a landing place. And then like Technology Alberta, they've got programs where they're actually, getting the lists of folks. Yeah. They're making the connections. It's all happening, right? Yeah. So we just want to build on that for sure.
I think there's some massive supporters out there. I mean, you said Western Diversification, which I think they've changed their name now. But Justin Reimer, you've got Minister Doug Schweitzer. They are all championing technology like it's going out of style right now. Yeah. And so now's the time to capitalize and make sure we don't slip up on any missed opportunities, and make sure we're keeping those foundations solid.
Well, thanks, John, for mentioning Technology Alberta. I'm on the board, not because I'm mentioning it, but the idea is the money that we receive from the government for first job programs. And I don't want to tell you how much successful it is, not only for a company like ours, but keeping talent in Edmonton and in Alberta. That's very, very important.
Yes.
The challenge for us as a company, I'm sure John, same thing, finding the right talents and then keeping them, because now they have options. Now it's our responsibility to even get better of attracting staff, attracting talents that we have, keeping them in Edmonton and also in Alberta. So
yeah, that's a phenomenal program. We had Gail Pally on the show to talk about Jobs First and some of the things that they're doing over there. Yeah. That's a wicked program to introduce new grads into the world and making sure that that world that they're being introduced to is positive and nurturing is super important.
I like to add one thing. When John mentioned about small, and then you took it there. One of the things in the email we were sending to the mayor is a link to a newsletter that City had in 1979 about the park. I'll send it to you and look at it.
Yeah.
And when you read it, say, oh my God, those guys are visionaries, what they want to do. And at the time, they want to double the park size. The size of the park right now, they want to double it because they realize what the opportunity now. I'm not sure what they faced through this year, but can you imagine the risk and the future that we're looking at right now if the city decide to sell those buildings? What's next, right? And this is the key. We need to grow. We don't want to be reduced by size.
You got her. Right on. Yeah. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming in and educating myself and our viewers on what the Edmonton Research Park is, what the consortium is doing, and we wish you the best of luck with everything. We hope that everything works out in your guys' favor, and we see growth because we know it's important. And on the bottom line, you can't deny the bottom line when you look at the economy and what tech's doing. And again, what you guys are doing over there is hitting that bottom line. So,
well, thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Thank
Take care,
you for
guys.
the opportunity.
You bet.
What that's called?